The tavern shook with noise as the first guard lunged. The human stepped back quickly, pulling the blue-skinned girl behind him. His fist shot forward and struck the creature's jaw. The guard staggered, surprised by the strength of a lone human. The crowd gasped, then laughed louder, shouting for blood. The girl clung to his arm, her eyes wide with terror. "You should run," she whispered, but the human shook his head. His voice was calm, though his heart pounded like a drum. "I don't run," he said. "Not when someone needs me." Another guard stepped forward. Larger than the first, its armored body gleamed under the torchlight. It bared its teeth and hissed, "She is food, human. She was chosen for you. You insult us." By refusing, the human's jaw tightened. He looked down at the girl again. Her chains rattled as she tried to hide behind him. She was trembling like a frightened child. Yet in her glowing eyes he saw something more. Not just fear, but a spark of hope. He took a deep breath. He had not planned for this. He only wanted to eat, to rest, to move on with his travels. But now the whole tavern was watching. Every alien face leaned forward, waiting to see if the human would act like a beast or a protector. The human raised his voice so all could hear. "I will not eat her. She is not food. She is alive, and she deserves to live." The tavern erupted with roars of laughter and hisses. Of anger, drinks spilled, fists pounded tables. The walls shook with noise. A scaled alien shouted, "Weak human, then fight for your meal," another jeered. "Or be fed to her in return." The girl looked up at him, her lips trembling. "Please, don't die for me," she said softly, but the human only gave her a small smile. Better to die protecting life than living as a monster. The guards advanced together, their claws flashing. The human pushed the girl behind him, his hands clenched into fists. He could not win against all of them, but he would not bow. He would not give them what they wanted. And then something strange happened. The girl spoke in her own tongue, her voice trembling but firm. The words were unknown to him, yet the sound carried power. The aliens stopped for a moment, staring at her. Some even drew back, as if her voice reminded them of something ancient. The bartender slammed a fist against the counter, breaking the silence. "Enough," it growled. "The human insults us. He refuses the gift. He breaks the order. He must pay." The human could feel the weight of dozens of eyes on him. He could feel the tension in the air. It was not only about food anymore. It was about pride, about law, about control. He had challenged their way, and now they wanted to crush him. He lifted his chin. His voice rang out clear. "If you want me to kill an innocent, you will have to kill me first." The girl gasped. Her chains rattled as she reached for his hand. Her glowing skin brushed his fingers, and for a moment he felt warmth. A strange pulse of energy moved from her skin into his. His strength surged, his fear vanished. It was as if she had shared a part of herself with him. The crowd fell into uneasy murmurs. Some aliens growled in anger, but others looked uneasy. Some shifted in their seats, whispering about the glow in the girl's skin, about the strange human who dared defy them. One of the guards snarled, charging again. The human braced himself, but this time when he struck, his punch felt like iron. The guard flew back into a table, splintering wood. Silence filled the room. The human stared at his own hands, shocked. That strength had not been his alone. It came from her. The bartender's eyes narrowed. It understood something dangerous was happening. The girl was not just a victim. She was something more, something powerful. And the human had touched that power. The girl whispered quickly, "They will never stop. You cannot stay here. If you protect me, they will hunt you. They will hunt us both." The human looked at her glowing eyes full of fear and hope. He nodded slowly. "Then we run," he said. The tavern exploded with noise again. Aliens shouted, chairs scraped. The guards regrouped. The human grabbed the girl's hand and pulled her toward the door. She stumbled, her chains rattling, but he held her steady. His heart thundered as they rushed across the floor. One of the aliens blocked their path, towering and armored. The human swung a chair and smashed it into the creature's side. The alien staggered, giving them just enough space to slip through the doorway. They burst out into the cold night air. The alien city stretched before them. Glowing towers and smoky streets filled with strange lights. The girl's breath came fast. She looked at him with wide eyes. "You could have left me," she said. "Why didn't you?" The human gave her a tired smile. "Because no one deserves to be served as dinner," he replied. Behind them, the tavern doors crashed open. The guards roared as they charged into the streets. The hunt had begun. The human traveler stepped into the alien tavern, the heavy wooden door creaking as he pushed it open. The air inside was thick with smoke and the strange scent of alien spices. Blue flames flickered in lamps hanging from the ceiling, casting long shadows across the room. The place was loud, filled with voices of many alien species, all gathered to drink, eat, and whisper in their strange languages. He brushed the dust off his jacket and walked slowly toward the counter. His eyes wandered over the alien crowd, tall scaled creatures with glowing eyes, insect-like beings clicking their mandibles, and reptilian guards standing like statues near the walls. This was not a place for humans, but he had traveled far, and his hunger was stronger than his fear. The alien behind the counter leaned forward. Its skin was pale gray, with ridges along its forehead. Its black eyes studied him with suspicion. "What will you have, human?" The creature hissed in broken common tongue. The traveler gave a small grin, trying to show confidence. "I'll take a steak," he said. "Rare." The words echoed strangely in the tavern, as if he had spoken a forbidden phrase. Conversations around him stopped. The sound of laughter and clinking glasses died away. Dozens of alien eyes turned toward him, watching with silent curiosity. The human frowned, confused by the reaction. He thought it was a simple request. He had eaten alien dishes before on other planets, but this felt different. The alien bartender's lips curled into something that almost looked like a smile. "Rare." "Steak," it repeated slowly, tasting the words like poison on its tongue. Then it nodded and walked into the back room, disappearing behind a heavy curtain. The human sat at a table, trying to ignore the stares. He drummed his fingers on the wooden surface. His stomach growled, reminding him of how long it had been since his last proper meal. But still, the silence in the tavern made him uneasy. Something was not right. Minutes passed. The heavy curtain finally moved again. 2 guards stepped out, tall reptilian aliens with sharp teeth and armored skin. Between them walked something that made the human's blood run cold. It was not a steak. It was not food at all. It was a young alien girl. Her skin was a soft glowing blue, her long dark hair falling across her shoulders. She was barefoot, her wrists bound with chains. Her wide glowing eyes looked around the tavern in terror. The human pushed his chair back, his mouth open in shock. What is this?" he whispered. The bartender returned, standing proudly beside the girl. "Your order, human," it said coldly. "Fresh, rare, just as you asked." The traveler's heart pounded in his chest. He looked at the girl again. She was trembling. Her breath was fast, and tears shone in her eyes. She was no older than 20 in human years. The aliens around the tavern began to murmur. Some laughed, others pounded their fists on the tables, chanting in strange voices. Their eyes burned with cruel amusement. They wanted to see what the human would do. The girl was pushed closer to his table. She stumbled forward, falling to her knees. Her chained hands touched the floor as she whispered something only he could hear. "Please, don't let them." Her voice was weak but filled with fear. The human's hands clenched into fists. He understood now. The steak he had ordered was not meat. It was life. It was her. He stood up, his chair scraping against the floor. Every alien eye followed his movement. He looked at the bartender, then at the guards, and finally at the terrified girl. His voice was calm but firm. "I didn't order this." Laughter broke out across the room. Deep voices echoed, cruel and mocking. One alien shouted, "Eat her, human. That is what you asked for." Another hissed. Or maybe humans are too weak. The human's blood boiled. He was not a coward. But neither was he a monster. He reached down, gently lifting the girl to her feet. Her body shook against his hand, but she clung to him as if he was her only hope. The bartender narrowed its black eyes. "You refuse the order? Then you insult our house." The guards stepped forward, their heavy feet shaking the wooden floor. The room grew tense. The human could feel the weight of the entire tavern pressing against him. Dozens of aliens waiting to see his choice. His jaw tightened. His voice rose, strong and unshaken. "I will not eat her." The crowd hissed in anger. Some stood, fists pounding tables. Others roared, demanding punishment. The guards closed in, their sharp claws glinting in the firelight. The human shifted his stance, ready to fight. He had not come here looking for trouble, but trouble had found him. His eyes locked on the girl's, glowing blue ones, and in that instant, he made a promise to himself. He would protect her, no matter the cost. The tension snapped like a blade drawn from its sheath. The first guard lunged forward, and the tavern exploded into chaos. The night air was sharp and heavy with smoke as the human pulled the girl through the crowded alien streets. Neon lights flickered above them, casting strange colors on the ground. Alien voices rose in confusion and anger as the tavern guards stormed out behind them. Their claws scraped against stone, their heavy steps echoing across the narrow alleys. The girl stumbled, her chain slowing her down. But the human tightened his grip. "Keep running," he said firmly. His eyes darted left and right, searching for a way out. The city was alive with noise, with merchants shouting, machines buzzing, and strange creatures filling the streets. Yet somehow, all eyes seemed to turn toward them. The human dragging a glowing blue girl through the chaos. The first guard caught up, its armored body slamming against the human's shoulder. The human spun around, swinging his fist. The punch cracked against the alien's jaw, sending it stumbling backward. The crowd gasped. Some aliens laughed, cheering for more blood. Others growled in anger, demanding the human's capture. The girl's voice trembled. "They won't stop. They'll never stop. You don't understand who I am." But the human only tightened his jaw. "I don't care who you are," he said. "I won't let them hurt you." Another guard rushed forward, its claws slicing through the air. The human ducked low, grabbed a broken piece of metal from the street, and swung hard. The weapon slammed into the alien's arm, sparks flying. The creature roared in pain, and the crowd scattered in panic. The girl pulled at his sleeve. "We can't fight them all," she whispered. Her eyes glowed brighter, as if reacting to her fear. For a moment the glow spread into his arm where she touched him, and once again strength surged into his body. His breath steadied, his fear melted. His fists felt like steel. The human stood tall, facing the guards. The alien crowd encircled them, chanting, mocking. Some threw scraps of food and stones. Others shouted for the guards to tear him apart. But a few, only a few, stayed silent, their eyes flickering with doubt. The guards circled him. 3 of them now, their claws ready, their armored scales gleaming under the neon lights. One lunged from the left, another from the right. The human ducked, spinning low, and slammed his shoulder into the first. The alien crashed into a wall. The second grabbed his arm, its claws digging into his flesh. Pain shot through him, but the girl cried out and touched his other hand. The glow spread again, and with a roar, he ripped his arm free, slamming his elbow into the alien's chest. The third guard came from behind, its arms wrapped around his throat, choking him. The human gasped for breath, his vision blurring. He dropped to one knee, his strength fading. The girl screamed, falling to her knees beside him. Her chains rattled as she pressed her glowing hands against his chest. A burst of energy erupted. The human felt it explode inside him like fire. His lungs filled with air again. His arms surged with power. He grabbed the alien's arm and threw it over his shoulder, slamming the massive creature onto the ground. The crowd roared. Some shouted in anger, others in awe. The fight was no longer just survival, it was spectacle. The human stood panting, sweat dripping from his brow. The girl knelt beside him, trembling. "They know now," she whispered. "They know what I am. They won't stop until they have me back." He looked down at her, confusion in his eyes. "What are you?" he asked, but she shook her head. "Not here, not now." Her gaze flickered to the guards, pulling themselves back to their feet. "We have to run again." The human reached for her hand, pulling her up. Together they dashed into a side alley, the crowd scattering out of their path. Behind them the guards roared, chasing once more. The human's mind raced. He had fought before. He had killed before. But this was different. This was not just a fight for his life. It was a fight for hers. As they ran, he caught glimpses of posters on the walls. Strange symbols drawn in alien ink, images of glowing figures like the girl. Shackled, hunted, marked with the word tribute. He realized the truth. She was not just unlucky. She was chosen. She was part of something far darker. They burst into a marketplace, stalls crashing as they pushed through. The guards followed close behind, tearing apart stands and scattering merchants. The human spun and grabbed a heavy iron pole, swinging it with all his might. It cracked against one of the guards, shattering its helmet. The alien collapsed, unconscious. The crowd screamed, scattering into the shadows, but some stayed, watching with wide eyes, whispering about the human, whispering about the glowing girl. The human pulled her behind a broken wall, catching his breath. His voice was low but sharp. "Tell me now, why are they after you?" The girl's eyes shimmered with tears. "Because I am not food," she whispered. "I am blood. I am power. They believe my kind carries the strength of the old rulers. Eating me gives them that strength." The human's eyes darkened. He understood now. This was not just cruelty. It was ritual. It was tradition. And she was the victim of it. He clenched his fists. "Then we'll break their tradition," he said firmly. "Starting tonight." But before she could answer, a horn echoed across the city, deep and terrible. The sound rolled through the streets. The guards stopped their charge, smiling with sharp teeth. The girl's face went pale. She whispered with dread. "The noble has arrived." The human turned slowly, his heart pounding as a massive shadow emerged from the end of the street. Tall and cloaked in shimmering armor, the noble alien's eyes burned like fire. Its voice rumbled across the marketplace. "The human will die. The girl returns to me." The first clash was over, but the true battle had just begun. The human stood frozen as the noble's voice rolled across the street. The sound was heavy, carrying power and command. The marketplace grew silent. Aliens bowed their heads as the noble stepped forward. His armor shimmered like black glass, etched with glowing red patterns. His eyes burned with cruel fire. The girl trembled beside the human, her chains rattling. Her voice was barely a whisper. "That is Lord Vaynor," she said. "The one who rules this city, the one who hunts my kind." The noble raised one clawed hand, pointing at them. His voice thundered. "Return the girl, human. You have no claim. She is chosen meat. She is tribute." The human clenched his fists. His chest burned with anger. "She is not food," he shouted back. "She is alive, and I will not hand her to you." The crowd gasped. The noble's eyes narrowed. His armor hissed as hidden machinery came alive. He stepped closer, each movement echoing with power. Around him, more guards appeared, armored soldiers filling the street. Their weapons glowed with sharp alien light. The girl's breath came fast. Her glowing eyes flickered toward the human. "You don't understand," she said. "He is stronger than any guard. He carries weapons built to kill my bloodline. He will destroy you." The human turned to her, his voice steady. "Then tell me the truth. What are you? Why are you so important?" Tears welled in her eyes. She hesitated, then whispered, "I am not just a girl. I am the last daughter of the Serati line. My people once ruled the stars. We were guardians of power. We carried light inside us, a light others feared. But when the Serati fell, the hunters turned us into food. They believed our blood gave strength, our hearts gave life, and so we became tribute. The human stared at her, the weight of her words sinking deep. He understood now why her skin glowed, why her touch filled him with strength. She was more than a victim. She was a living relic of a fallen empire. The noble laughed, a deep, cruel sound. "See how she lies," he said to the crowd. "She calls herself queen, but she is cattle. She is mine. Her blood is my strength." The girl's voice cracked as she cried out, "No, I am not yours. I am not meat. I am Sarati," the crowd murmured. Some aliens hissed in anger at her defiance, but others looked uneasy. Their eyes shifted between the human and the girl, doubt flickering in their expressions. The noble lifted his hand and gave a sharp signal. The soldiers stepped forward, their weapons raised. The human braced himself. His body still ached from the fight. His fists were raw, yet when the girl touched his arm, that strange warmth filled him again. Strength surged through his veins, his fear burned away. He whispered to her quickly, "If you have power, now is the time to use it." Her eyes widened with fear. "I don't know how, I was never taught. My people are gone. I was raised in chains," the noble sneered. "Then let me teach you the taste of despair." He swung his hand, and the soldiers charged. The human roared, rushing forward. His fists cracked against armored chests. His boots slammed into alien knees. The glow of the girl's energy made him faster, stronger. His strikes echoed like thunder. 2 guards fell, another stumbled back. But more kept coming. The girl cried out, her hands glowing brighter. Chains rattled as light surged from her skin. A wave of energy burst from her body, knocking several guards to the ground. The crowd gasped in shock. Some even stepped back in fear. The noble's eyes burned brighter. "Yes," he hissed. "That power belongs to me." The girl collapsed to her knees, gasping for air. The glow dimmed. She looked up at the human with tears. "I can't control it. It drains me." The human bent low, helping her stand. His voice was sharp. "Then we learn together, we don't stop now." The noble raised his weapon, a long blade pulsing with red light. It hissed as it cut the air. "You are finished, human. You dare fight tradition. You dare steal tribute. Then you die with her." The human's heart pounded. He had fought many battles, but this was different. This was not just survival. This was defiance. He stood tall, holding the girl close. His voice echoed through the marketplace. "You call it tradition. I call it murder. If you want her, you'll have to go through me." The crowd shifted uneasily. Whispers spread like fire. Some shouted for the noble, but others stayed silent. Watching the human stand against him, the noble swung his blade. The human raised his arm, bracing for death. But at that moment, the girl screamed. Her glow erupted like fire, wrapping around them both. The blade struck the light and shattered into sparks. The noble staggered back, his eyes wide with rage. The girl fell against the human, weak but alive. He held her tight, his chest rising and falling with heavy breath. He looked at the noble with fierce eyes. "She is not yours," he said. "Not now, not ever." The marketplace was silent. The crowd watched in awe as a human and a glowing alien girl stood against the might of a noble. The legend was beginning, and every eye could feel it. The noble snarled, his voice shaking with fury. "Then the whole city will hunt you. Run if you wish. But you cannot hide. You cannot win." The human pulled the girl toward the shadows of the alley, his grip strong, his mind set. He whispered, "We'll see." And with that, the human and the last Sarati girl vanished into the night, leaving the marketplace buzzing with whispers of rebellion.